Today we are covering free kicks, and I know we've covered that before, but we're covering defending a free kick. So it's a difference. Um, the reason why I felt I need to create this video is because I've been seeing uh, from the past couple of games that not a lot of teams have been um, putting up a wall for the quick for the free kick, and they're just not used to it. So having this up is going to help my team kind of understand how to get that done. It's like how to build the wall and to cover other details, as well as covering a few of the rules when it comes to the free kick, as already discussed. But it's more in the procedure of how you can set the wall up, and there's rules to that too. So you can't have like too close. You can have someone like right in front of the ball. So there's rules. We can cover the rules for that, and a couple other things. So again, this is mostly directed for my team that I coach in 12U. But if you can find it helpful for your team, or any other age group as well, and um, again, this could be helpful if you're kind of new to playing the sport, if you're new to the coach, I guess. I guess if you're new, you're trying to find, but there's other information on the internet and YouTube videos. So again, this is more directed for our use, but if you find it helpful, that's great. That's great. So without further ado, let me go and get my board here. So what you have here, I'm gonna move my little capture thing. What you have here is half a field. So it doesn't matter um, if I had a full field here or not, because this is going to illustrate the placement of these free kicks, whether it's here. Going the other direction, we can kind of swap out the colors, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Using this for the zoomed in illustration purposes. And so this is the defending team in red, right? There's 9. We're going to pull back the strikers. We're all going to pull back so we can help defend the free kick here. And again, this isn't you have to use this formation. You don't have to have all your people here. This is just kind of like a better explanation and how you can use your personnel, right? So everyone has their strategies. Everyone has um, their ways of taking these free kicks, but again, this is for illustration purposes only. So I was like, oh, why'd you put your strikers within here? Look, this is just kind of like to give you, to give those that are watching a better understanding for the free kick. So a couple of things to cover, right? So first of all, communication. Communicate. So especially if you're the goalkeeper, right? Your job is to defend that free kick. You have to be vocal. You have to talk to your defenders. You have to communicate to them. Hey, it's a free kick coming up. I want a wall on this side or on this side. The ball's on the right side. You want the wall there. So that way it can help, prevent that wall from going. So depending on who the kicker is, that shot could be short. That shot could be has some height to it. Um, the kick a curve, numbered. It's like the wall is to prevent the ball from going directly into the goal, but also it helps to um, defend that kick. They have to find different ways to get that ball into that net, right? To take that shot. So having that wall kind of prevents them from that easy target, that direct goal. So height, I mentioned height. Height's the next thing when it comes to these walls. So when it comes to the wall, you want people that's pretty tall. They don't all have to be. You can have like the tallest person like in the middle. Um, and this case, this is 12U. So 12U, we don't have a lot of players that's gonna be like 6 feet tall. So you'll have some that like are 4'9", 4'11", 5'1" and things. So you're not gonna have a lot of tall players. But if you do, if you're lucky enough to have, someone that's like at least 5'8" and 5'11", in 12 your team, more power to you. Area position, we'll cover that. 10 yards and line of sight. So how this fall into play? Okay, so let's say the ball is placed here. So the first thing that we're going to do is what I have instructed, some of my teams do, is to ask the referee if it's a direct kick or a indirect kick. And we know the difference, right? Okay, so the difference between an indirect kick and a direct kick is with a direct kick, right? With a direct kick, and let me change this tool here. So with a direct kick, they can kick the ball. I don't know why I do that. So like, say the ball's here. They can kick it directly into the goal, and it'll score, right? So if like the goalie misses the ball for me, he fell down, he tripped on the shoelace, he was distracted by some butterfly or whatever, and the ball goes in, hits the net and goes in. That's points, right? So goals rewarded to the kicking team. For an indirect kick, same thing, right? Same thing. Say the goalie, his girlfriend's on the watching him play, and she's blowing him kisses, and he's trying to grab it to put in his pocket, and a goal goes in, and the teammates turn on him and going like, "Yo, what happened? What's going on?" It's all upset. Well, there's nothing to worry about because it doesn't count. It's an indirect kick. So for an indirect kick, the ball has to make contact with another player before entering the goal. So he got lucky. So hey, save those blown kisses for later. Pay attention, to the game. So that's one of the two differences between the direct kick and indirect kick, right? So direct kick is directly exactly how it implies, right? Direct into the goal. Indirect, it can go directly to score. It has to be touched by another player. It could be passed. It could be a number of things, but it has to make contact with either the attacking team or the defending team. Doesn't matter. So as soon as it makes contact and it's brushed in, the goalie barely touches it and it goes in, a goal is rewarded for that team. Now, the two types of free kicks, right? So you got to communicate. You ask first, right? Because there's some teams that strategize, but we're not covering strategies here. We're talking about the procedures for defending a free kick, and that's pretty much it. So I don't want to make too over complicated and spend too much time. So once we find out, if it's a direct kick or indirect kick, it doesn't really matter. Is we want to form. The goalie needs to communicate with their team. Hey, let's go ahead and form that wall. I want that wall built. And so one of the rules when it comes to creating that wall is there's no player can be closer than 10 yards from the position of this ball. So if this ball is stationary here, that means from 10 yards is the closest you can be. So let's in this board here, every color section is about 10 yards, right? So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So if the ball's here, then 10 yard is going to be where? 10 yards is going to be about here. So let me, you'll see if you watch FIFA, if you watch the sports, see like the referees sometimes they'll get like that spray paint, and they'll spray paint a line where the line's at with it. So hey, this is 10 yards. So they spray paint 10 yards, and then they'll probably, for the marker, they might spray around the soccer ball to where it should be stationary. Because as soon as you see the ball move, it's in play, right? So this is 10 yards. So let's say this imaginary line is all the way across. So this is as close you can get to the ball. And so you'll have your teammates form, they build a wall here. So they can be kind of close like this. All right, so we got the wall going. It's not a pretty wall, but it's a wall, right? So what's next? Height. We don't want to make sure height. So Seven's the tallest person. We'll have them in the center. So if we wanted to have 4 people in our wall, then the tallest person would be on the person that's in the second person on this wall. The tallest one is the second one right here. Um, right? But we have 3. And again, this is the minimum that you can have. You can have your whole team. You can have them all on the wall, but at least this 3 is required. Um, and it really depends. Again, I just want to cover like the bare basics, and you can read up more on the other rules for the free kick for the wall, because you can, if it's just one person, you can just have one person there. You don't have to have 3. Um, they just can't be closer than 10 yards, right? You understand that? So as long as you're not close to 10 yards, you can have 1, 2, 3, 8, whatever. So we gotta have a goalie, man. If you don't want that goalie, that's on you. So, but you don't have your goalie there. Okay, don't have him part of the wall. So 3 is what's usually you'll see the least from most teams when they are putting up a wall. Um, and it really depends. Like again, like you have their players. Let's say this person, number 7, is taking a kick, and then you go have your goalie. So the next thing, so we covered all of this. So the next thing I want to address is line of sight. Line of sight is important because the goalie needs to be able to see the ball. He needs to see where's the ball comes so he can better defend it, right? So the line of sight, and we can change this back to this color, right? So the ball's going this way. That's not a good job. They could do a better job. Come on, man, you can get a better wall. That's why this is important, right? So look, again, this is why I'm using this illustration so you can kind of get a better idea. So as you can see, my wall, my defense not doing a good job at building this wall for me, right? So as the goalie, as they go, I'm gonna communicate, hey, more to the right, scoot to the right. You're watching this from his point of view, right? And for us, we're seeing on the right, they need to scoot to our left, right? He's gonna communicate to them, they need to move down. So hey, move down some. Cover this. So now that's a better wall, right? So so it's important that the goalie communicates with his team when it comes to building the wall. He dictates where the wall's going to be and how many people he wants on the wall, and the placement. So if you're new to the goalkeeping, this is kind of good for you to, like, you have to be vocal. You're commanding them out there, because this is going to help you defend this free kick, right? So I would tell them, hey, scoot down more to the right and scoot down. So now you see he has a harder time. You don't have that line of sight towards that goal because now you have that wall there, see? So if I was kicking directly, right, you have this wall here. So now you have that. So we can take out this line. We know that's 10 yards, right? So that's 10 yards. But let's say he can still kind of curve it around number 5. Oops. Let me do this right here. So this is not gonna be pretty. They can do something like that, right? Good. So if they have, the skill, they can curve it around the wall to here, right? So and let's give the defender a different color, because I want to do this. Gotta illustrate this. So you're the goalkeeper. So we see the line of sight for the ball going directly to the goal. We have the wall here. So you have the wall here and you have this block. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be, because this is already defended. Like, look, you have this open. So you want to be on the other side of the goal. So you can protect this goal and you can see more of the soccer ball, right? You can defend this better. So this side is covered by the wall, and then you cover the other side, and you have more of a line of sight for more of the ball. So you have this going on right here, something like that, right? So um, not the perfect example because of the angle, but let's say that, right? So now, say they're not listening, and it's too late. They lined up here, and they're about to take the kick. You have no choice, right? You have um, they're not going to wait for you. So as soon as they get that ball stationary and the referee blows the whistle for them to take the free kick, they can take a free kick. And so you can count. You can always count on the team being prepared. So that's why it's always best to get that line shot on the ball, right? So they can just kick it. They can kick it here. You say that, and I'm not gonna change that, but you get where I'm trying to say, right? So they can't kick in this direction because it's covered, but they can try to kick it on the left side of the goal here, which it doesn't make sense. It's not doesn't do any good for being here as a goalkeeper, right? You have the wall here. You want to be on the opposite side for the better line of sight, so you can protect this here. And you want to know something else? Here's the kicker. Get it, kicker? Okay, so here's the kicker. I said I wasn't cover strategies, right? But there's no rule saying that the person that's there in front of the soccer ball has to take that kick. They can fake kick. They can feint the kick. So unlike penalty kick where you're not allowed to to stutter stab and fake and kind of fake out the goalie, there's no rule against that during these free kicks. So they can you see okay, so you see this line of sight, right? I mean it's not pretty, but you know the line of sight here. You see how this direct shot is has that wall here. I mean it's not the best wall, but it's a wall. But if they had someone right here, if they have someone right here, and for this I will go back to that, they can pass it to the teammate. So he can fake it, like take whatever. They'll jump or do one of these things. They'll react because that's you're 10 yards. You're going to react. You don't want to get hit in the face or anything with that soccer ball. So you're going to react to that. So they can go in, do something, and then they can have someone come along here and then pass it to eight. Pass it eight, and then guess what? Eight's going to do? Eight is going to take that shot here. Um, Again, I didn't want to cover strategies, but um, you can kind of get the gist, right? You kind of get where I'm going, right? So the goalkeeper dictates, where that wall's at, and depending on what you see here, we got to do a lot of communicating. Communicate with your teammates. Once you get that wall, then we got to worry about everyone else. So again, right here, area and position. Yeah, if you have someone on the inside, where's that beautiful curve I had? So I had that curve I made. I had made that curve earlier, so let's do this again. So, all right, so so let's say like they're like really good and they curved it or something. It's going something like that. Say they curved it around the wall because they're like the next Lionel Messi, right? So they curved it around the wall. And maybe fall short. Maybe, it curved, it was like a cross. They crossed it, it curved, and it landed here, and they have someone here. So they have to be marked. So you have to be wary of everyone else, on their team. So they're attacking. So in case they don't get this free kick, they might have other plans. Again, they have different strategies, but the important thing is where are your other players? So you have three to the wall. Where's everyone else going to be? Well, you got to have your other defenders here just in case the ball falls short. In case they have decided to put two people inside the box. So you need to mark them. You keep it out the box. Keep them out the box. You'll have this person covered. This person stay like here. Maybe they might try to curve on the other way. Um, but I would have a defender here, and if they have someone here, they'll need to be picked up. So they're picked up by, their forwards here, and you have your other guys forming a wall. So that's all your players here. That's all your players. So it's a lot of communicating. So especially if you're new, it's one of those things that you have to learn to adjust to on the fly and get used to. The more you see it, the more you'll be able to react. So like the more you practice, I guess is the word I should say. The more you practice these type of scenarios, the better prepared you are. Uh, excuse me. So hopefully this kind of helps when it comes to defending a free kick. And one last thing. So if the free kick is taken from outside the box, right? Remember, 10 yards. You can have it. You can have that line closer, but again, I'm not going to cover strategy. You can look online. You can watch videos on how other teams do it. You can see how like they do it like in the professional leagues, just to get an insight um, on these free kicks, right? So that's what I want you to do. So take this knowledge, take this, and then go and watch some Google. You can Google it. You can go to YouTube and search for free kick free kick walls, and see how they implement these walls from different angles. You can see them how close, if it's like right outside the box. If the ball is placed out here, you'll see different usage of the walls and people positioning. But remember the basics, right? The goalkeeper, you're communicating with your defense. You want to have your top players in the center. You want to be aware of the positioning. You want to make sure that you have your key defenders marking your opponents, right? Like I guess these attackers. You can't be closer than 10 yards. I don't know if I covered this, but they can't be closer. So if I have this wall here, they can't be like part of the wall. They had to be at least a yard away from the defending wall. So attacker can't be closer than a yard from the wall, right? Did I say that too fast? So the attacker, the other team cannot be closer than 1 yard from that wall, right? And then we covered the line of sight, how it's important that if the wall's on one side, the goalies cut the other side, so that way they can have a clear view at the ball. They can see what's going on. So that's pretty much it. If any questions, or if you think you felt you got a lot out of this, say something in the comments. But hopefully, this works out for you. And yeah, thanks for checking in. And that's pretty much it. All right, peace.